Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Commissioners, I recall Mr. Baba Fatajo, Managing Director, Nawec. Just for the record, Honorable Commissioners, Mr. Mohammed Bazi and Mr. Fadi Mazegi were set down for today, but we have been informed by writing from Council that Mr. Fadi Mazegi is unwell, so he cannot attend. We have not received a similar letter on behalf of Mr. Bazi. I don't know whether the Secretariat has.
We received a letter on behalf of Fadi. We haven't received any letter on behalf of Bazi.
If I may be assistant to the Commission, with respect to the communication on behalf of Mr. Bazi, there should be one with the Secretariat. It's on the way from the office.
Mr. Fatajo, we would like to remind you that you're still on the oath, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Fatajo, when you were here last, you were required to clarify the issue of the land occupied by Global Trading Group or any sister company on Nawec premises.
Yes, I've just commented that it's inclusive.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
We've begun the process, but it's incomplete as of now.
You began the process of?
Looking at the issue.
How long is it going to take you to finalize the issue?
By next week, hopefully.
By next week?
Yes.
Let's say next week. By next week, Monday, we should have an answer from Nawec?
Yes, we'll endeavor.
Expect you to come back on Monday, after today's session, of course.
We'll endeavor to do that.
To clarify the issue. Right. Your Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Nani, tendered some documents relating to invoices with regard to Kanilai Group International and Kanilai Family Farms. He was supposed to do a summary because all we had were invoices. I don't know whether he's updated you and you have that summary.
No, unfortunately, I don't.
Well, since you are the MD, I'd appreciate it if you would take responsibility, since we are short on time, so that when you come on Monday, you will present the summary that he has been required to provide with regard to the invoices.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, you had in your submissions to, you had referred to two other projects. One is the Koto expansion project, and the others are, that is the 11.1 megawatt Koto expansion project, and the other one is the 20 megawatt Brikama power plant supply project.
Yes.
All right. Could we start with the Koto expansion project? What is the Koto expansion project?
Koto expansion project is a power generation project aimed at increasing capacity, our power generation capacity. And the funds are coming from the from ADEA and OPEC fund for investment and development of it. And
by OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum is it exportation countries?
Yes.
Export countries,
OPEC,
something
they call
like that?
it OPEC fund for investment and development.
OPEC. This was
OFID, O-F-I-D. O-F-I-D.
O-F-I-E.
D for Dauda.
What does it stand for? O-F-I-E.
OPEC fund for investment and development.
Okay. OFID.
Yes, OFID.
All right, thank you. This is a project that was entered into when? Was it after the management ended with Global Trading Group?
Yes, ma'am.
Who were the contractors?
The contractors, it was a consortium of GTG and Dosan.
Did the ex-president have anything to do with this contract?
Unfortunately, I will not be able to tell. All that I know is that there was a tender process, and GTG formed a consortium with Dosan, and they were one of the participants in the tender process. So they were eventually awarded the contract.
For what it's worth, because as I said, we are investigating the ex-president's financial dealings and anything related to him. But since you have provided the document, we'll have it admitted. At this time, who was the managing director?
It was Ibrahim Asanyam.
Okay, he's coming tomorrow. Right. What was the value of the contract?
It's around 21 million US dollars.
I'll give you this folder which you provided to the investigators. Mr. Sanyang will be giving evidence hopefully tomorrow, and he may be able to shed light on this project. Could you just confirm that those are documents relating to the 11 megawatt Kotu power supply project? The memo, the summary, sorry, that accompanies the file, and dated today, please. Was this project completed, implementation?
Yes, as we speak now, we are doing the commissioning.
It was only completed in 2018.
Yeah, it's just being commissioned now.
Has it added to the, by commissioning, you're just doing it, it hasn't yet kicked in, is that what you're saying?
No, the commercial operations has not started yet. The process is still on. The contractor is doing the commissioning tests.
Okay, so it has not yet added any electricity to the grid?
No, for now, it's not been handed over yet.
Is it expected that when this is added, the problems will be solved?
Well, it will really go a long way in alleviating this current situation.
All right. Thank you very much. Can I have the file? We'll just tender them together with the next one. The other project that you, as I said, that was brought to the attention of the investigators was the 20 megawatt Brikama power supply project. I understand this project is also under construction.
Yes, ma'am.
From the testimony that we have had variously that there was some delay in the project commencement.
Significantly.
All right. I'll give you the two folders that you have provided again, and you tell us about this project. This is the Wadzilla project.
It's called Brikama Extension Project.
All right. It has nothing to do with Wadzilla?
No, because as I narrated the last time, that project, the Brikama power project, was to be implemented in phases because we could not secure the entire funding for the project. So the first phase was won by Wadzilla and implemented by Wadzilla. So as a result, we call it Wadzilla plant.
Okay.
But actually it's the Brikama Power Project Phase 1.
Okay. That was implemented and completed.
Yes.
And that gave Nawec how much megawatts?
9 megawatts.
9 megawatts.
Yes.
It was completed what year?
2011.
2011.
Yes.
Then this new project was supposed to take its place.
Yes. Whilst that project was being implemented, we continued looking for funds to pick on the second phase. And then from there, we started the procurement process, tendering process sometime in 2012, after securing the funding from the Islamic Development Bank.
Okay. You can carry on. According to you, the last time there was some interference.
Sorry?
But according to, I think, your evidence, when you were here last, there was some interference from the office of the president, or the president himself, in this project.
Yeah, what actually happened was that the mode of funding was a combination of lease and loan. And the bulk of the funding was lease funding, and which technically means that the equipment were to be owned by the financing agency, that is IDB, until it was paid off. As a result, when we floated the tenders, we got responses from the bidders. A short list was generated that was sent to the bank for their approval, so that we could engage those bidders. It happened that GTG was one of those that were shortlisted for possible engagement. But the bank came up with a shorter list of the list that we submitted. And out of those lot, GTG was not approved. So there was a correspondence from GTG requesting Nawec to try to justify that they have the capacity to implement that project. So when that was brought to our attention, we met as management and said that we could not do that, because the thing is that the bank had done its due diligence, and in their opinion, GTG did not have the capacity to participate in that tender. And therefore, going back to the bank, making a request, will definitely put us in a funny position, in the sense that it could be seen to be not impartial in our dealings. And especially once they participate, there is a potential that they can become the winners. So it may be very difficult for us to justify that. And it could be dangerous in the sense that we could be accused of misprocurement, the implications of which can be far-reaching not only for Nawec as an institution, but for the country. So there was a lot of pressure, and in the end we said that no, we could not actually do that on their behalf. Then they requested that they wanted to partner with one of those that were shortlisted. We said, okay, we do not have a problem.
Sorry?
GTG.
Yes.
GTG, yes. So we said we do not have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, if whoever they are partnering with happens to be the winner, whatever happens, we will hold that company responsible, because they will be the contracting party with Nawec. And therefore, for us, whatever happens, whatever internal arrangements they make, the ultimate responsibility will be that company. So in short, we are able to be included among the short list of subcontractors of one of the bidders. We went through the bidding process.
Which contractor? Sorry?
Hyundai.
So they formed a...
Hyundai is from...
They formed a joint venture with Hyundai.
It's not a joint venture. They were the bidders. But you know, when you are bidding, you can subcontract part of your works, and and normally they will of course give us a list of subcontractors that they want to engage should they win the contract. So among the list, GTG was one of them. So we went through the evaluation process, and Watsila happened to be the most responsive bidder. Then we got a lot of pressure that we should go with Hyundai.
You got a, sorry?
Pressure.
Pressure from who?
From the office of the president, that we should go with Hyundai instead.
What form did the pressure take?
Well, I could remember there was a particular day when my MD was invited at the office of the president, and this message was conveyed to him that they would not allow Watsila to do business in this country, and therefore we should engage Hyundai with a bid to award them the contract.
Who was who was your MD?
Ibrahim Asanya. So when that happened, actually it was the Secretary General who invited him to the office of the president, and he met him together with Mohamed Bazi, who conveyed this message to them that the president.
This is what the MD told you.
Yes, that's what the MD told me. So when MD came, he was very worried. He told me this. I told him anyway, this is a non-starter because this is not going to be accepted by the bank. I told him, but this is a very serious issue that we cannot afford to bring to the attention of the bank without having any documentary evidence that this is a decision of the executive and not Nawec. So I advised him that he should endeavor to get it formalized before we could proceed. So this actually took some time. Then eventually we were able to get an executive directive. You have
the directive?
Yes, we were given the directive in writing that we should instead engage Hyundai. So when that happened, we said, okay, we acknowledge receipt of the directive, but we informed them that we could only do that with the concurrence of the bank, because we had earlier submitted the evaluation report to the bank, and they had already given us the no objection to engage the most responsive bidder. So should that decision be changed, the bank must be notified, and they should also give us their concurrence to that. Otherwise, we cannot do it. So we sent, we responded to them, and then also forwarded this to the bank, that this is the executive position, and then we will want their concurrence to proceed. They wrote back to say that no, they stood by their earlier communication to engage the most responsive bidder, and we should continue to engage those instead. I received that letter on the 10th of November, and on the 11th I was fired.
10th November 2013.
And on the 13th, on the 11th November, whilst I was going to the head office to convey that message to my MD and also advise him to write to the office of the president forwarding that communication from the bank and request them to guide us on the way forward. Then I got a call from the PMO that I should report there. So I went, I was given my dismissal letter. So, but I must hasten to say that, I mean, the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Energy together with Nawec were able to re-engage the bank, not to cancel the facility, but to allow Nawec to retender. And that retendering was done and then finally concluded in 2016. So in short, we would not have found ourselves in this predicament had it been that that project was implemented in 2013. So basically this is what I can say with regards to the phase 2 of Brikama project.
Firstly, the letter of the executive directive, as you called it, is it in that folder? Could you confirm that the folder that you submitted?
Yes, it's here.
Okay. And you said it's dated when?
22nd of October, 2013.
22nd of?
October.
October 2013.
Yes.
Your letter to the bank?
For the
Nawec letter to the bank conveying the executive position?
This was done on the 28th of October.
That's also there?
Yes.
Okay, good. The bank's letter?
The bank's letter was dated that one is not here, but I have it here.
If you have it, will you include it in the folder, please?
It was dated 7th of November, 2013.
All right, we will need the letter from the bank. Could you, maybe you would want to detach it? We'll make a copy for you.
Yeah, I can give a whole bunch
all right.
of all.
That's fine, include it in the folder. Now, why did it take from 2013 to 2016 to get the project back on track?
As I said, we went through the entire process, and then after that, it was a question of whether the bank would continue to provide the facility or to cancel it. Okay. That was a very big issue, so there were negotiations behind the scenes, you know, to ensure that at least the funding was secured. So it took some time before they could convince the bank that, because what also helped was that we were all along very professional and following the bank's guidelines. So they knew that, I mean, due process was followed, but of course, when our principals took a decision, there was very little that we could do about it. And in fact, if you look at it under normal circumstances, the financing agreement is between the government of the Gambia and the bank. And this was a fundamental breach of that agreement. And, you know, during our discussions, brainstorming as how to handle the issue, we were advised that we should not engage the bank because we are only an executing agency.
Advised by who?
No, people who actually we could consult and who have a vast knowledge of bank processes and procedures and within the government circles. Because the thing was that under normal circumstances, the directive should have been copied to at least the Ministry of Finance, who were the ones who secured the funding for Nawec, but they were not in the loop. It was only written to the managing director, and it was never copied to the Ministry of Finance, and neither to the our line Ministry of Energy. So we said yes, under normal circumstances, that is how it should be. But this directive was given to the managing director, and he needs to act. So the best thing to do was to convey this to the bank. If the bank feels that we are not the authority to engage them on this, they will advise us, and then we will throw the ball back into their court. But until that is done, we cannot just risk, giving that a copy of that directive, because once it is copied to you, and it so happens that it leaks somewhere else, you can be in trouble. So we said, okay, let us treat it, and if the bank decides that it should be brought to it should be taken to them through the Ministry of Finance, then we will advise the Office of the President accordingly.
So in 2016, when eventually a contract was awarded, to whom was it awarded?
The contract was again awarded to a consortium of GTG plus another Korean company called STX.
Called?
STX.
STX.
Yes.
Who is STX?
It's an engine manufacturing company in South Korea.
South Korea.
Yes.
Is the project complete?
No, the project only started sometime in February this year. The engines are ready. We have sent our engineers to witness the tests, and now it's being shipped. The engines are being shipped at the moment, but we have not received them yet.
All right. Can you put the folder together? Just confirm that all the documents relevant to the project are there. Could you kindly collect the folder? Is it a 50-50 consortium? Do you know? Between GTG and the South Koreans? Or is there...
Basically, GTG was to do the civil works, and then the electromechanical works by STX.
Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted a bundle of a folder containing documents in relation to the Koto expansion project for 11 megawatt generator. May I also apply to have admitted separately documents relating to the Brikama power project starting in 2013 and which was finally implemented in 2016.
Bundle comprising procurement documents in respect of Kotu Power Station Power Supply Project, 11.1 megawatts, dated 4th August 2014, admitted mark SC101A. bundle comprising procurement documents in respect of Birkama Power Station project supply, power supply project, 20 megawatts, dated 5th March 2013 and retendered on 10th May 2016. Admitted mark SC 101B.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Fatajo, briefly, you said you were dismissed on the 11th November 2013. What position did you hold at that time?
I was the power generation director.
The managing director was not dismissed?
Pardon?
What happened to the managing director?
I was the only victim as far as I could.
You were the only one dismissed?
Yes.
Why?
Well, they will never tell you the reason for dismissals, because from PMO there is only one standard sentence that which actually says we concur with the executive decision to dismiss you from the services of government effective this date. It is a standard text that is used in all the dismissals.
So you never came back until 2017 after the change of government?
Yes.
That's when you were reappointed.
Yes.
Just to clarify that. Mr. Fatajo, is there anything else that you would like to draw to the attention of this commission that you think would be helpful to them?
Regarding this submission?
No, regarding all the evidence from your institution which you heard at the moment. Well, you're coming back. You can think about it since you're coming back on Monday. All right?
All right.
Okay. I think we've covered all your files. I have no further questions for the witness for today, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Smythe will have questions for you.
Counsel, is there any other witness?
Yes, I have. Mr. Cham is back with his figures.
All right. Very well, you may go. Thank you.